Welcome to this month's CCI video update highlighting the great work of schools and their supportive community partners who are working together to reach the aims of Lilly Endowment's Comprehensive Counseling Initiative. Today, our guest is Michi McClaine of ROI. She's Vice President of Talent Development. Welcome, Michi. I was wondering if you would want to start off by telling us a little bit about your organization.
Sure. Thank you, Kelly. ROI, back in 2014, Lilly Endowment asked really a group of stakeholders regionally to look at the region. And what came of that in 2016 was, ROI as a regional investment. We're so fortunate for Lilly Endowment to really invest in the region. And what was really found, the big takeaway there in that study early on is, there are assets within this region of our 11 counties here in southwest central Indiana that are known as the Indiana Uplands that just may not be realized. Lots of assets that can be leveraged. So we focus in three sectors. So that's advanced manufacturing and life sciences and national defense. So you can think of life sciences, so many biomedical device manufacturers as well as pharmaceuticals in our region, and advanced manufacturing around furniture making and automotive, and also defense, of course, Crane being the third largest naval base in the world here in our region. So mostly a region rural and really looking to make those connections across those three sectors, which greatly involve STEM careers and STEM opportunities here in the region. And we have in our organization, we kind of have two sides of our organization. So I oversee the education and workforce initiatives, and we also have our economic and community development side. So that involves quality of place, things such as housing and broadband, digital inclusion, and things of that nature. So really coming, full circle as an ecosystem for our region, how all of those play together in terms of talent attraction, talent development, and talent retention.
Well, I was wondering if you might talk a little bit about how ROI's goals and work align to some of those aims of the Comprehensive Counseling Initiative.
Sure. So with our education and workforce initiatives, we have a number of initiatives that are really looking to align with career awareness and exploration, graduation rates, looking at next steps for graduates. So, for a couple of years early on, we supported grad coaches throughout the region. We still do that now through the Indiana University College and Career Corps. So we have some coaches here in the region around that. We also have a number of initiatives in terms of, building that capacity for STEM in the region. So we have a STEM fellowship. So students early on, we focus that on in the early grades, building confidence and efficacy in teachers to, bring those experiences to students early on, for students really to be able to understand, be exposed to everything that STEM careers, high opportunity, high demand careers can offer to them, and so that they early on can see themselves. We often are thinking about, right, you can't be what you can't see. So how do we start early in that? We also have an educator boot camp, so immersing educators throughout the region in those three sectors that I mentioned earlier, and a deep dive, going on to those sites, a day in life sciences, a day in defense, a day in advanced manufacturing. And so, as educators, we know teaching really well. We know what that career is like. We might not know all of the opportunities that are right here in our backyard. So we also have a career awareness campaign. So that effort was really around being able to see that, have that career awareness specific to our region. So what and profiles of workers and careers, so that there are those resources for educators, for parents, for students to know, gosh, that looks like where I live. That is a person that I feel like I can connect to, and maybe I want to learn more about that employer, about that specific kind of career. One of our largest initiatives is really around transformation in K-12, and that's called our Ready Schools initiative. And so we have 15 school districts that have engaged with us in a design thinking process to really first listen to key stakeholders in their community and build relationships with key stakeholders, employer partners, community leaders, community members, students, recent graduates, parents, and educators within their own system, just around what are their hopes and wishes, what are their frustrations, and how do they align, what really saying what if, taking a year to plan and really learn from others, listen to their own community, listen to the region, and what could we build in order for there to be K-12 alignment in terms of career awareness, in terms of the pathways that they're offering, and a good number of things. So some of those strategies that come from the Ready Schools work and design thinking are, a comprehensive plan around maybe project-based learning, or we have a number now of student-led businesses, these student-led enterprises that are really making connections to work experiences, hands-on, engaging, real-life work experiences right there on their campus, because we know that there are barriers in the rural setting that, we're just really often thinking about in Ready Schools or any of our other initiatives. How do we make these transitions seamless? How do we really blend, and blur these lines between high school and post-secondary? So.
Yeah, I was wondering if you might be willing to share a little bit about maybe one of those particular student-run businesses and what it is and what it looks like.
Sure. One of the examples that we have many, I just, one that I can highlight because I know they're part of the Comprehensive Counseling Initiative, Brown County. So Brown County has Eagle Manufacturing, and those students in Eagle Manufacturing, they're in a pathway of engineering or marketing or business, but that business on site has everything from CNC machines to graphic design. So they're creating all kinds of products for customers inside Brown County and outside Brown County. And what they're learning from start to finish is what that means to run a business. And so we're also talking a lot about entrepreneurship in each of these student-run businesses. And so they're a great example of what can be and how students can really own their learning while they're also doing. And, it could be in a lot in the beginning, productive struggle, right? Fail forward. And so I think what we've seen is a lot of students be really surprised with themselves, whether it's calling a potential client on the phone. It could be, I don't know what to say. I don't know. I've not had to do this before. Or even working through and iterating through prototypes for a customer for a specific product. So, they have just been incredible. If everyone could just see what they're doing, we would worry a lot less about our future, just knowing that, they can learn this, they can take this and really run with it, and they have.
Wow, that's great. Well, you mentioned, collaboration and working with stakeholder groups. I'm wondering if you have any advice or words of wisdom for schools, school corporations about how they can effectively collaborate with
That's a great question.
Yours or others.
That is a great question. And what we have found is by organizing our initiatives most often through a cohort model, that's where that collaboration comes so naturally. So they essentially become this network of schools, and they call upon each other often, or they're supporting each other often because they might have similar strategies, or they've been through our Ready Schools process together, or they're in a STEM fellowship cohort together. So it's really blurring the lines across counties as well. And regionally, it is really great to see that they are getting to know and able to share what others are doing around them. I will say that one of our core principles for the Ready Schools initiative is that there's ongoing collaboration between schools and employers and the community. So that doesn't always happen naturally, just because we get in our own bubble, and it's hard to kind of really know what we're asking for or what they want from us. And so really, serving as this conduit and convener to kind of help facilitate these connections at first that grow into ongoing collaborations between the employers and the schools, and vice versa, and how those relationships and collaborations can be reciprocal in nature and really remain student-centered.
So how do schools and organizations forge those collaborations that do promote sustainability and all the good work that's being done?
So we, of course, are always thinking about sustainability and talking with school districts about what sticks, what makes it your culture, what makes it so that this is just the way we do things, in a culture. This is who we are. So for the Ready Schools process, each school district has to have an advisory team and a design team. So what we have found is those members that were so invested throughout the process and really see the why behind the work have remained engaged. So, whether that's a school board member or a key employer partner on those teams, we see that if those types of, whether it's an advisory board or a team, can continue well beyond their engagement with us in these efforts, that it becomes, this is what we do. We are part of this community, and we are a contributing part of this community, and vice versa for those community members.
Well, thanks to our guest today, Michi McClaine of ROI. Thanks for joining us. And thanks to all our viewers for watching this monthly CCI video update.